Alright, now we're going to do the other side, removal of the headlight assembly. Remove 5 clips. Remember, the gray is towards the inside of the car. Push down on the tab before you start pulling out. Now with the headlights in place, we want to make sure that they both work before we go ahead and bolt them down. I've already done that. So now we're going to reassemble the headlight assembly. When you're putting these back in, don't snug them down quite yet. Make sure you get all 3 bolts in first. The reason for not tightening one down before we get the other ones in there, that way it's still free to move to get all 3 bolts in the holes. And we'll go back, tighten these up. Use a ratchet, make sure we get them tight. Now don't over tighten. Do the other side and do the same. Some of these clips are on the bumper itself. Some of them stayed on the car. I want to take all the ones off of the bumper, put them on the car. Just clip into place. Now next, hold this up. Need to plug in our fog lights again. Make sure you push until they click. Do this on both sides. We'll take our bumper, reline it up. We're going to go from the bottom. From underneath, we need to remember that clip needs to go around this piece of bumper tab. So as we put that into place, we need to make sure that clicks in there like that. And we're going to walk around all the way around the vehicle and do that same thing. Now we can put these screws on the very far corners by the mud flaps. Next, the air dam is going to go in place. So put the center one in first. It'll help you out by holding it up into place. With the middle one in place, we'll screw in the remaining 4 to hold on the airfoil. Now with the skid plate, I want to make sure these white clips go over top of those holes on the air dam, over top of those tabs. Slide it over top. Now there's 2 more screws that will hold remaining ends of the airfoil on. Now we need to secure the back of the skid plate. We're going to have to use our ratchet on this part. These screws do not have a place for Phillips screwdriver to go into place. So once again, on these I'm not going to tighten them down until they're all into place. Now that they're all lined up, I'll go backwards, snug them down. These are screwing into plastic, so do not over tighten them. And that completes the underside. Alright, now I'm back on the top side. I want to secure the bumper on both sides. Once again, be aware of this ear against the body. Make sure you don't move around a whole lot to get the body scratched. We're going to grab from down lower, we're going to twist this bumper up, and these ears here will go into place. Go over to the other side, do the same thing. Up here on top, make sure this is going to fit into place. These ears have a tendency to want to go on top. Make sure they stay underneath. Also, inside here, you want to make sure that this silver, or whatever color your vehicle is, tab from the actual bumper cover itself goes in between these ears on the headlight, right underneath the headlight. So that will slide into place. That will hold the bumper from there. So again, we're going to grab down by where the fog light is and rotate the assembly up and get these ears to enter in there. Reassembly of the bumper against the fender here. Remember, we got to pull this back. Enters the screw here. With that screw tightened, you need to make sure that this fender liner then will tuck back underneath the bumper cover and the fender body roll there. Screw into the other side of the fender, tighten it into place. Now we need to put in this piece of plastic here. Make sure our hood latch goes over top through that hole. We're going to rotate this down underneath. Okay? Now that sits between the plastic piece and the metal that's down underneath. So it sits between there. There's a groove for it to sit in. We'll make sure all of our holes line up along here. We're going to put our clips back in. These are the clips that have the Phillips Alright, next we're going to put in the two rubber pieces that go back in here to support the hood. Final step is to put these clips back in the three remaining holes. And it is complete.